Hello everybody and welcome back to X4, where I've done a little bit of research, and I think I have decided what we're going to use this refined metal production factory for, assuming that we get to keep it. However, we're going to have to make a couple of quick changes. So, the first thing I want to check is... Well, actually, let me just explain what I'm going to do first. We are going to make this into a hull part factory. Now, to that end, we are going to need several things. Also, this size is not... I did not confirm that size. Yeah, building without a license will be seen as a hostile act by the local government. Our actual size is, of course, 6 by 6. I was just testing this to see how much it would cost to expand, which we are going to have to do eventually. But for right now, we're going to bring this down like so. Okay. So this is our current size of plot. And obviously this is not big enough. But this is what we've got for right now. So, what I want to do with this is I want to produce hull parts. We're already producing Claytronics, hull parts, and energy cells. So that means that we can basically construct our own stations for free, just in a matter of time, once we have this. Now I looked up what hull parts take. We don't yet have the blueprint for the production module for hull parts, and I'm not sure how much that costs, but hull parts require refined metals, which we are already creating here, which is great. They also require energy cells, which we're going to need to expand for, and they require graphene. Now, graphene, of course, requires methane to make, and we do have the ability to make graphene currently via this facility right here. And the question is, how do we go about fitting some graphene production into this? Well, we're going to have to expand pretty dramatically to make this happen. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a base module over here and turn it this way. We're just trying to get a little bit of distance here. Then we put in a cross module here. Then this way is where we extend our solid storage. This way is where we extend our container storage. So we are going to need at least one unit of liquid storage, which is horizontal. We could just simply put this in right here. So we'd have liquid and container storage, and we can expand that direction as needed. Now, I would like to put in that graphene production facility. Something like this, except it's obviously not exactly going to fit there. That's fine. We'll just take this off for the time being, and we will put in another base module over this way, and I want to rotate it to face like so, snap it in like that, and we'll just place it like that. Is that outside of our bounds? Not quite. Perfect. And then we would have to figure out where we want to put some energy cell production. And that's a good question. But this would do for now. So we're going to confirm these module changes, but we're not going to fund this just yet. Everything up to here is currently fully funded. So that's great. We're going to confirm these changes and get that online. Then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to hop over to our GE headquarters funds here, and we're just going to steal most of this money. About like that. Excellent. Now, at the shipyard here, we're going to need an ore miner. So we'll get a mineral vanguard. How much would a high preset cost? Quite a lot. We're probably just going to go with a low preset, or maybe a minimum. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I think we go with a minimum preset for right now. We can always upgrade it later, if need be. So we'll add that to our shopping list. And now we also want a Sunder gas Vanguard miner. So we'll also minimum preset that one for now. We can always upgrade it later. And it did not seem to go. Sunder, minimum preset, add to shopping list. There we go. I clicked the wrong button. That would do it. So that's going to cost us about 500,000 credits, and we'll confirm that. So those will get constructed soon enough. Looks like they're being constructed simultaneously, in fact, and we will assign those to this station to auto mine. Now, they're not really going to do too much just yet until we have this fully funded, which is going to cost another 500,000 according to this. If we check the planned build, how much is this actually going to cost? 300,000. Okay. We can work with that. Now, we're not actually going to see any progress on this construction for a while because our Mercury Vanguard is queued up to bring in the energy cells. Just at 399 energy cells, we weren't getting any interest on that from our NPC friends. So I queued that up. That said, this is going to take a while because it's queued up at the end of several more trades. So that's fine. Let's go ahead and manage our funds. Oh, hey, I just got an achievement for ship collection. That doesn't show up in the recording, but we got 15 out of 20, apparently. Whatever that means. But we're going to toss some additional funding at the... about 500k at the GE headquarters, our Claytronics production, and we'll just check in on that real quick. You can see that this has not really progressed, and I think the reason for that is because these hull parts aren't in yet. And hopefully by the time the hull parts get here, hopefully we'll be good to go on that front. And then we can get the Claytronics being produced yet this episode is the idea. So are there any missions we can do? Not exactly here. I mean, that's not a huge surprise. We'd probably have to go back over this way. But our ships should be finished constructing. And indeed, they are. Fantastic. So the Sunder we are going to assign over here as a miner in the Alpha group. The Drill we are also going to assign over here as a miner in the Alpha group. Fantastic. And then we'd probably want to get at least one trader assigned to this as well. That would be ideal. But the reason I did 2 miners was because we're going to need both ore and gas here. And I don't know, we don't have... No, I don't want this order to be here. Remove that. I don't know if we have any capability of mining any gas when we don't have... Like, we don't have any collection for it, right? Nowhere to store it. So what are these guys actually doing during this time? Are they just searching for resources? Free mining. Okay. So they just free mine. You know what? That's fine. They'll make some money, and we'll call that good. Now, of course, we are going to need a life support factory at some point if we want to vertically integrate that. And yes, the Tolati trading station is still under attack. This is still ongoing. Let's take a look at the information here. It's at 77%. It's very slowly taking damage. So that's exciting. So I'm just checking in on our funding levels. We'll keep this at about 100k. And at this point, I feel like we need to be donating over here to the Argon Prime factory, because this is only 8,000 expected construction budget. I guess because it hasn't gotten all of this yet. We are going to toss all of our money into the construction pool for right now. Okay, so that means that we're going to need about 100,000 more credits to finish this up. And I'm not sure if 1 graphene production will be enough to keep up with 2 refined metals. I actually need to look that up. So let's see here. This uses 40 graphene, 280 refined metals per cycle. The refined metals are going to produce how much per cycle? Or rather, per hour. Refined metal is here. They produce 100 per hour. This uses 280 per cycle. Actually, this is per cycle. This site here tells me how much they produce per hour. 2,400 per hour. And then there are 15 minutes per cycle for hull parts. So we need 280 times 4. So pull up a calculator. 280 times 4 is 1120 per hour per hull parts generator. So that's how much we need. The refined metals produces 2,400 per hour. So 2 refined metals are going to produce 2,400 times 2, which is, of course, 4,800. And then we need to figure out how many hull parts factories we're going to need for that. So that would be that number divided by, oh, what was it? I need to pull up another calculator. I need to make a spreadsheet for this, clearly. But 280 times 4 is 1120. So 4,800 divided by 1120 is 4.3. Interesting. 4.3 hull parts factories. Okay, so how much graphene are we going to need for that? Well, that is 40 graphene per cycle. So we're going to need to do 40 times 4, or 160 graphene per hour. And one graphene producer produces 110 graphene per hour. So we're going to need a lot of graphene. Or no, 1650 per hour. One graphene producer produces 1650 per hour. So 1650 divided by 150 is 11. So we're going to have plenty of graphene being produced by this one singular graphene generator here. That's fine. Okay. So we're going to need, to keep up with this, about 4 hull parts factories. We're going to have to figure out where we want to mount those. We're also going to have to figure out how much a hull part factory actually costs. So we should probably head on up to the Argonne shipyard. So let's go up there. We'll just undock from our fancy new factory here. And see about getting out of this docking bay.
Autopilot.
And activating the autopilot. Excellent. So that'll get us up pretty close. And let's just take a look over here to see if this is progressing. It is. Fantastic. So we're going to have Claytronics being produced very, very shortly. Assuming our quantity of hull parts holds out. I'm not sure if that's enough hull parts to finish this Claytronics production or not, but we're hoping so. Okay, let's check in over here and see. I don't think that this is going to be building just yet. No, we need these energy cells to come in. So we're waiting on that. But in the meantime, let's head on up to the Argonne shipyard. We're going to disable the autopilot.
Autopilot disengaged.
And we are just going to fly up there manually. Right about now. Excellent. Okay, so we are still about 120 kilometers away.
Requesting permission to dock. Docking permission.
That'll take some time. But by the time we get there and figure out how much this hull parts blueprint is going to cost us, we're definitely going to also need to expand that plot and get some amount of energy cell production. I think we're only going to need 1 energy cell production facility, and we may need some habitats in there too. So we're going to have to figure out exactly how we want to lay that out. And I'm probably going to want to give it some thought, because
Shuyaku, Vanguard.
that's nice.
Argonne
We're trying to dock
shipyard.
with the Argonne shipyard, though. Okay. We'll go ahead and exit travel mode. There we go.
Docking granted.
Get ourselves some docking permission. And we'll boost right on in, just a little further. Okay, Well, that was a bit laggy. Just back up a little. I'm sure there's nothing there. Oh, we're pretty far off, actually. There we go. Now we're lined up. Thank you, docking computer. Fantastic.
Successfully docked.
So let's get up and go talk to the faction rep. And
It's an honor to have you aboard.
okay, you said that twice, but whatever. We need to go see just how much the hull parts is going to cost us. That should be relatively cheap compared to the Claytronics, I think. We'll see how much.
It's good to see you, friend.
Okay, what do we want for hull parts? 4.5 million. Okay,
Good luck out there.
we can probably make that happen. That is, after all, a one-time expenditure, and we'll make more than that off of it. In fact, we will make, in theory, infinite money off of it. We have 2 inactive missions? Hang on. What is our second inactive mission? That's under map. There's only 1. Okay, I think that's incorrect. So, 4.5 million credits. That's really
Elite
not too bad.
Vanguard.
We can get that pretty easily. Of course, we're going to need to expand this factory a little bit. There may also be some missions available here. No, there are not currently. That's okay. We can give that a little bit of time. Let's check in on the factory over here. And see... Yeah, this halted again, presumably because of the amount of hull parts. I was really hopeful that we'd get that done this episode, but maybe not. Let's take a look at the funding here. Okay. Yeah, we're waiting on our Mercury Vanguard to come in over here, which is fine. How long on that, anyway? We need to go into information and check the behavior here. We're getting there. We're slowly getting there. Okay. So realistically, how much do we actually need to change the Argon Prime Factory's plot? Well, this is its current size. Sadly, we don't see its final size. But we really only need to go this direction, right? I think that would give us sufficient space. So that would be what, negative y? No. Negative x. Nope, positive x. Okay. I mean, that's pretty cheap to get us a lot more space. Sadly, we can't shrink it any more than our license, it would seem. But that would get us a lot more space to go this way, which I'm okay with. 180,000 credits is what we would need. And we can probably get that right now. Just rotate the map back. Oh yeah, we can get that. Just drain that down to about there. Fantastic. And then we'll go back to managing this plot. Buy that license. Excellent. And now we can continue to the building. So, with this in mind, we have a fair amount of space here, right? So, essentially, what we would want to do is we would want to put in a base module rotated to be over there. Excellent. That would provide space. So this would be a graphene production, and actually we may want to have 2 base modules. Like that. In between these. So that would be graphene production. This would be hull part production. Right here. And then the question is, do we have enough space this way? And actually, we may be able to just copy this part, but it's also relatively easy to do that. If we copy this module, yeah, we copy its rotation as well. Good to know. So then we would put in a cross module right here, and I'd be real surprised if we have the space for an energy cell. We do. Fascinating. So that would work. Now that, of course, doesn't have habitation involved, but we can do some verticality for habitation. Like, habitation can happen down here. Now I'm assuming that hull part production would happen up here. If it's a below module or a horizontal module, we may have to do a little bit of rethinking, but overall, I really think that this would work. We'll confirm those changes and blind everybody, apparently. And, there we go. Let me get this rotated back to be vaguely useful. Excellent. So let's check in on our funds over here. We are basically out of funds for station construction for our GE headquarters. We definitely need to continue that construction, and in fact, I'm going to drain out another 100k and toss it over here. Excellent. And then the Argon Prime factory over here. We currently have about 230k in there, which we only currently need 8k, allegedly. But let's take a quick look at the building status over here. That's going to take some time to put all this together, of course. Storage modules can, in theory, be expanded this way for the solid storage, this way for the liquid, and this way for the container. That's the idea there. And then, similarly, horizontal expansion for graphene, refined metal, which would potentially be moved over this way, but horizontal expansion out this way for that, and then habitation would probably be in this area over here. Would be the overall concept for this particular station. So unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to complete any of this building, but I feel like that's some good, solid planning under our belt. That's fantastic. So we're going to need about 6 million credits for this station here. Our Claytronics are going to be produced quite soon as we have some resources coming in, which that's just a matter of time. Over here, it's going to cost us currently, because this is not, of course, finished yet, currently it's going to cost us about 1.2 million credits, give or take. And then 4.5 million credits for the actual purchase of the hull part blueprint, plus another probably couple million
Requesting permission to dock.
to actually start producing hull parts. And of course, we're going to want 4 hull part modules, according to my math. We'll be double checking that along the way, but that's what it's looking like. So we're well on our way now to producing both Claytronics and hull parts. And that's fantastic. Also, keep in mind, as soon as we get those refined metals online, we're going to be getting an infusion of almost 5 million credits. So that's great. However, it is pretty much time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to see if we can get some of these constructions completed. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.